Mm. Rise, rise, shine, give God the glory, glory, rise, shine, give God the glory, glory, rise, shine, give God the glory, glory, children of the Lord. That's what Mama used to say every morning, getting up her six children for school, right? But the song really goes with the energy. Rise, shine, give God the glory, glory, rise, shine, God the glory, glory, rise, shine, give God the glory, glory. Soldiers of the Lord. And guess what? You were chosen. I was chosen for this day that we will never ever see again. Do you feel me? Are you breathing? Can you hear me? Wow, we should give him the honor, the praise, the glory, the hallelujah, the worship. But most importantly, the acknowledgement that he chose you and me to rise, inhaling his love, exhaling his love, so that we can send his love around the world. And guess what? Unconditionally. Yes, I always acknowledge the God that I now know and found in a 12-step spiritual program nearly 33 plus years ago while underneath a parked car. I'll tell you about that later. But because I know of a loving, caring God, oh, I want to follow him. I want to be led by him. I want him to continue to order my steps, the whole 9 yards, because he met me, delivered me from underneath that parked car to be prepared to be sitting here before you this day, this moment, at this present time. And for that, I acknowledge him before I acknowledge myself. Without the universe, guess what? There would be me and there will be no you. But we're meeting this time, this day, for another opportunity to practice getting it right on a spiritual level. Okay. And so I'm Edwina B. Many of you know me as Miss Cuckoo Cocoa Pops. Why? Because these days are short sometimes. I come out sometimes. I come on with a mask, the wig, and makeup, and when the spirit hits me, just to show you how transparent and authentic I have become and continue to become. I let you know, don't focus on the messenger, focus on the spiritual message because the mask must go. And so, the first thing I want to say to you that I'm having a free virtual presentation on April the 20th and the 27th. You can chime in on both days from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Saving Times to share with you the pathways, the models, the services, the opportunities, the willingness, the honesty, the open-mindedness, right, to becoming transparent and authentic. And so it is entitled Journey to Transparency and Authenticity. It's an orientation by Free to Hope from Recovery Emerge, enlightened / empowered to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. It will be in an orientation form. I don't want to give all the secrets because I want you to come back, right? And so, but that hour you will receive, you will know, you will feel that it is needed. And after a while, it will be wanted to become transparent and authentic. Because if it ain't the truth, if it ain't the truth, do I need to say more? Thank God for a 12-step spiritual program that I've been a part of for the last 33 plus years, entitled Alcoholics Anonymous. That's a program and that's nearly years old and recently incorporating love agreements by the Ruiz family. And most recently, Dr. Sonja of P3 University showing us, teaching us, right, what it takes to be transformational as a speaker, as a coach, as a consultant, right, to change lives. And so with those things, I'm on fire. But guess what? I don't represent any of them. I am there to embrace, to learn, to utilize, and more importantly, implement their transformational teachings. Why do we hear things and it goes in one ear and not the other when we need to listen? For me, listening implies action. And so by applying those spiritual tools, instruments, modalities, guess what? Listen, I'm ready. I'm action ready. As Dr. Sonja would say, she was a retired vet for 21 years. Girlfriend is so small, but guess what? The spiritual strength can be disguised by the outer appearance. Okay, so don't get it twisted, right? All right, and so as a result, I am inviting you. And once you come to my free virtual presentation, I have a gift for you. How many of you all like gifts? And then I have an assignment for you to see if you really want to be the real you, even if you don't know you yet. But the pathways and the directions and the assistance and the opportunities and the honest, open mind and this willingness in an orientation form will give you what you need to begin the process or to continue the it is ever so happening until we transition. Donna Lawrence says we are not natural beings having spiritual experiences. No, we are spiritual beings living and walking this natural experience here on earth called life. So mark your calendars, send me your email, send me an email. That way I'll get your email with your name, of course, and what day or days you want to participate. And I will send you the link as well as a reminder. Okay? Looking forward to seeing you. Guess what? If it ain't real, if it ain't true, if it's not authentic, and it's not transparent, you can't believe out of me. And so I just thank God for everyone who responds to my social media with the kind words and the encouragement and the support and how I am impacting their lives. And I oh no, it's under my. Thank you for sharing that I am. Listen, I do God's will, no more Arena's will. I'll say I'll practice no more Arena's will because there's sometimes I'll tell God in the fellowship, look, I'll be right back. I'm going over here, only to have to come running back. Okay, but I do it less and less as my spiritual awakenings, experiences, and transformations continue to help me achieve a psychic change and attitude adjustment so that I can continue to be used by my higher power, who I choose to call God, to help one other person. And whoever that person is, it is none of my business. But I thank God that he uses me. Use me up, Lord. Use me up. Okay, so that's that. The other thing I want to share with you that because of my 33 plus years of experiences in the 12th step, I'm dealing with co-occurring disorders, mental illness, and chemical dependency. If you need no speaker, if you need spiritual coach or spiritual consultant, please contact me. I'm going to give you information that will substantiate that I know what I'm talking about, because if I didn't know what I was talking about, I'll still be underneath that park car. I will still be suffering from mental illness. I've been set free from recovery. I have emerged enlightened and empowered just to give hope to somebody else, help others prosper equally. Okay, so my goal is to contact a number of rehab, detoxification programs, treatment centers, transitional houses, recovery houses, the field of treatment for co-occurring disorders, to contact the CEOs, the directors, to say, listen, I have a pathway that works by utilizing the help that's available. If you give me the opportunity, I will give this information to those you are serving for free, but you got to pay for it. Okay. And if you are really, really concerned and really want to help the people that you are treating, then they need to hear from the horse's mouth that we can and we do recover, if it's only one day at a time. So call me or look for my email, my phone call, and my letter, inviting myself to help those you serve at your cost. And guess what? They can be a referral for you once they get on their feet, become set free, and giving hope to others. They can send those individuals to you. See, it's a win-win situation. I love it. Okay. Now it's time for me to my sharing for today. Oh, okay, wait a minute. I got 3 more minutes. Okay. So one of the reasons why I want to invite you to my free virtual presentation is because 33 plus years ago, I was underneath a parked car that I put myself there as a result of running away from my stepson, whom I was getting with and doing all kinds of sexual favors for. Yes. Because of addiction and mental illness, we are liable to do anything. And as a result of the transformation, he became violent and I became fearful of my life. I started running. I got a flashback from my past when I played hide and seek. If I just get underneath the bed, they can't find me. They can't hurt me. As I continued to run, I saw the bottom of the cars, and I said, if I just get underneath one of those cars, he can't hurt me. I only weighed 90 pounds. Dark circles around my eyes. They all shut and matted, face all sunken in. Missed a few teeth. And as I slid underneath that car, my face was literally on the ground. If I looked up, I would have seen the bottom of the car. The flashbacks continued. Edwina, you were the co-captain of the cheerleader team, vice president of your class, voted 1 to most likely to succeed, deemed the smartest of your parents' 6 kids. Your children admired and respected you. You had ambitions of being a model, a actress, a phys ed teacher. What is wrong with you, Edwina? Why are you underneath a car? You're only 4 years old. What's wrong with you? The self-loathing, the hatred, the remorse, guilt, the shame. Yes. The hopelessness, the helplessness, the humiliation. And somewhere deep, deep down inside of me, right, as the flashbacks continued, I cried out these words: whoever they say you are, taking this life now, or show me a better way. Because the flashbacks continued. At the age of 23, I committed murder. Yes, I had an abortion as a prostitute. I considered that murder. The flashbacks continued. The rapes, the beat-ups, the setups, right? Stepping over dead, robbing dead, right? Seeing them stacked up, being passed around like a bucket, called all kinds of names. Do me, but do my boy too. And if you don't do it, I'm going to stick these dogs on you. You are going to yield or you are going to die. When I called out his name, whoever they say you are, take me out this life now or show me a better way. So 33 plus years later, I've accomplished through his grace and mercy. I'm presently getting my doctorate in biblical studies just to learn more about the God who did for me what no human being could do, not even my mother, as much as she prayed for me. Yes, she was limited. All human beings are limited. That's why we all have to have our knee bowing experience so that we can confess with our tongue that he is. And I'm saying, whoever they say you are, take me out this life or show me a better way. I got my master's degree from Lincoln University, writing an employee assistance representative manual for those employees who have co-occurring disorders. About 2 years allowed me to write a training manual to train our co-fellow workers how to be the liaison for those people to keep their jobs but get help, right? I have a TV talk show for the last 32 years called Choosing a New Way of Life. A new way of life. Yes. I'm now an inspirational, no. I'm now a transformational speaker because I used to say inspirational or motivational, but Dr. Sonja said, no, boo, you are a transformation story from passion, right from pain to passion to purpose. You are a transformational speaker. Hmm? Yes, I have a son that's a doctor of 15 years, a daughter that has her own construction company. I have 9 beautiful grandchildren who I do for what I could not do for my own children. I'm a model, I'm an average, but guess what? I'm out of God. And more importantly, I stay connected to my spiritual fellowship, embracing the principles of the fellowship and the program, and now incorporating the 5 agreements by the Ruiz family and the transformational teachings by Dr. Sonja. You better believe girlfriend is on fire, but I'm on fire for God who did for me what no human being did. Okay, so that's just a little bit. So let's get to the topic. All right. Lord, thank you. Okay, so the topic is April the 14th. This is my perspective only of the AA Daily Reflections entitled The Number One Offender. I will be incorporating the 5 agreements by Ruiz family. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally, right? Don't make assumptions. Always do your best and be skeptical, but learn to listen. And the transformational teachings by Dr. Sonja of P3 University, how it is designed to go through pain to give you purpose, to save and help somebody else. And with that, your spiritual blessings that can be and will be in a financial form will be provided because we are doing his will to save one of his children. A man is worthy of his hire. So let's dig in and let's dissect this pig. Ooh, number one offender. What do you think it is, huh? What do you think it is? I don't know. I do know, but I ain't gonna tell you. We gotta read this thing, okay? All right, so let's go. All right, let's move this out of the way and let's bring this up. And we're gonna read it together. So open up your spiritual ears and your eyes and let's go. Okay, resentment is the number one offender. It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. From it stem all forms of spiritual disease, for we have been not only mentally and physically ill, we have been spiritually sick. This is from our co-founder, quote from the AA Big Book, page 64. And the person in recovery shares their perspective. As I look at myself practicing the 4th step, it is easy to gloss over the wrong that I have done because I can easily see it as a question of getting even for a wrong done me. If I continue to relive my old hurt, it is a resentment, and resentment bars the sunlight from my soul. If I continue to relive hurt and hate, I will hurt and hate myself. After years in the dark resentments, I have found the sunlight. I must let go of resentments. I cannot afford them. Ooh, uh-huh. The number one offender is resentments. So let me ask you, what resentments do you have right now that stems from your childhood, during your life's journey? What resentments do you have right now? Mm. Now, the 12-step spiritual program understands the character defects brought about our humanness, right? And character defects are only God-given instincts that far exceeded their intended purpose. And so when you think about the number one offender being resentments, against who? For what? But here's the other question. What resentments do people have against you? And for what? It goes both ways. I know I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, but guess what? He delivered me from that too. Mm-hmm. I love y'all. Okay, so let's this baby. Okay, all right. Here it says resentment is the number one offender. It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. Right? It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. And let me tell you, who the resentment is mostly geared towards. Me, you. Do you know when we do our 4-step inventory, we find out so much, not necessarily what's wrong with us, but what happened to us. And so when we go back and look, as the Ruiz family said, the domestication process, as the 12 spiritual principles lay out the attitudes, ideas, behaviors, belief systems that were formulated as children, right? And so as we continue to grow, those defects continue to grow as well. And then for some of us, we couldn't bear what was going on in our lives because we wanted to blame everybody for what happened to us, or why we can't and why we can't do that. And years later, somebody said you got one finger pointing at somebody, but you got 3 pointing back at you. But let me tell you, when we get into and we do that work that is spirit and nature, we find that the biggest resentment that we have is against ourselves. How did I let myself get this far? How did I become the person that I am? Why am I so angry, so evil, so malicious? What is wrong with me? And so that resentment against ourselves is a product of doing the step work to find out the resentments we had against other people's, other situations and things. But in reality, we resented ourselves. You may not understand that, or you may, if you look at the spiritual angle from which I'm coming from. When we come into recovery, we are grieving. We are mourning. Yes, how did I get here? Why did I do those things? What is wrong with me? The great I am. Yes, but look at where I am. And so when we get involved in this 12-step spiritual program, we learned what happened to us. And for alcoholics, resentments, even against ourselves, is dangerous, both mentally, physically, and definitely spiritually. But the program, the spiritual principles, the Ruiz family 5 agreements, the transformational teachings by Dr. Sonja can set us free. But let's continue what they say. All right. So then he says, okay, It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. From it stems all forms of spiritual disease. For we have been not only mentally and physically ill, we have been spiritually sick. Sick, sick, sick. See, we're not talking about, we're not talking about the physical, and we know and can see the devastating effects of drinking and doing drugs and the lifestyle of a prostitute can have on our physical and our emotional state. But guess what? We are spiritually sick, and in some cases spiritually dead, but not for real, because the other spirits that occupies this vessel is getting their job done through us. And so when we come and we do the work, that means the big boys and the big girls have grown up in this process. I don't care how old they are, because we find out we are sick people trying to get well. All right, so let's see what the person in recovery says. Okay. He says, right, as I look at myself practicing the fourth step, it is easy to gloss over the wrong that I have done. Let's stop there. It is easy to gloss over the wrongs I have done. See, in your fourth step inventory, you get to see who the resentment is against, right? What happened? What was the situation? What emotions? And then what part did you play in it? But see, that part, we want to gloss over the wrongs that I done and just focus on the wrongs others done, okay? So that's what that means, all right? Then it says here, right? Because I can easily see it as a question of getting even for a wrong done me. And so you know what they're talking about. You did something to me, Holmes. I want to do something to you. Oh, you did that to me. Oh, guess what? I'm gonna get even. How many times have we said that? Oh, I'm gonna get even. I got you. I got you. Really? What about the wrongs you've done to others? And they're saying the same thing. They're gonna get even. They're gonna get you back. See? For what? I don't want to go through that no more, right? So let's see how we cannot. All right. So then he says, right, if I continue to relive my old hurt, it is a resentment, and resentment bars the sunlight from my soul. And so it says here, if I continue to relive my old hurts, okay, and that's why you need to join me on April the 20th and the 27th, right? So we can go through the journey of how we put on all those masks. Yes, for all those peoples and all those situations, we get to relive every role we play behind that mask. And so, in the journey to transparency and authenticity, we want to know what happened. Attitudes, ideas, behaviors, belief systems that perpetuated itself in our lives even up to now. Yes. Relive the hurt and pain, draws up those feelings, but in a spiritual program, offering spiritual principles, you get to learn to change your perspective and put it in the correct order. You begin to change the narrative. You begin to change the story. Why? Because you have more information and you are prone to want to find out what happened and not what's wrong with you. Okay, I got a couple more minutes. All right. Then they say, okay, let's get here. Then he says, right? Oh, I love this one, right? Because if I continue, the resentment bars the sunlight from my soul. If I continue to relive hurts and hates, I will hurt and hate myself. And see, that's what the 5 agreements in the Ruiz family talks about, right? So be impeccable with your word, right? Meaning don't sin against you and don't sin against others, right? And so once we apply the 12 spiritual principles from a 12-step program, and now the 5 agreements by the Ruiz family, and now the transformational teachings by Dr. Sonja, we will be set free. because we are spiritually teachable. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And once the student is ready, he will elevate to a spiritual student, which means to a spiritual teacher and appear. It's about the spiritual journey, applying spiritual principles to all earthly matters. And that includes my. All right. All right. So let's take this out. Let's take this out. All right. And let me close with this. Okay. And then he says here, because I got to go. I got a train to catch. Right. All right. Then he says, right. After years in the dark of resentments, I have found the sunlight. I must let go of resentments. I cannot afford them. And I'm going to tell y'all, I told you I'm transparent. This is a lifetime process. But it's a lifetime process because we get to have that knee-bowing experience where we will call and confess with our tongue that he is, that we are set on a spiritual path that's holistic and inclusive for us to apply spiritual principles to all earthly matters so that we can be joyous, happy, free, no matter what's going on. Yes, so we can't, alcoholic or not, afford resentments against others or even ourselves. So do you want to be set free? I'm free. Oh, can't you tell? I'm so free. And I want more freedom because our lives is like an onion. More will be revealed as the layers come off. Okay, I got to go, y'all. Y'all know I'm in Atlanta, getting ready to go to Dr. Sonja Business Mastery Blueprint for speakers, coaches, and thought leaders. I will share with you my journey for this day, and I'm sure you reviewed my journey from yesterday. I'm so glad I'm alive. I'm so glad I was chosen, and I'm so glad I am willing to be what my creator created me to be. Turn my pain into purpose and my purpose into spiritual profits. And it can be in money form, in other forms too. But guess what? It's only going to be recycled to help more people. Love ya. Love ya. See you soon. Be safe and inhale this love, exhale this love, share his love, but practice doing it unconditionally.